Back at it again, baby, and we got a video from Caitlyn Jenner titled, "I am getting tired of this woke world." Let's dive right on there.
UPenn swimmer Leah Thomas becoming the first ever transgender athlete to win a Division I national championship.
Was pushed over the first 350 meters. Thomas wins the NCAA championship. Ended up very close for second, with Wyatt taking it ahead of a late charge from Erica Sullivan in third.
The cheers much louder for the runner-up than for Thomas. Thomas' accomplishment only adding to the big question, should she have been allowed to compete in the first place? Let's bring in with us now Caitlyn Jenner, who's got a lot to say on this. Caitlyn, it's great to have you here. Let me just set this up by saying that Leah Thomas destroyed the field in the 500-yard freestyle. She was 1.75 seconds faster than the runner-up, but she was 9 seconds slower than the record set by Katie Ledecky back in 2017. So she was faster than all the women in the pool last night, but she's not the fastest woman ever. So how do we put this all into perspective?
Well, I think she was probably taking it very easy in the race because she knew the world was watching, and she's just going to go fast enough to be able to win the race.
I am so happy she said that. So because I was in a discussion with somebody the other day after I had made the first Leah Thomas video with Abba and Preach. If you haven't checked that out, definitely go and check that out. They had mentioned that Leah Thomas had barely won another race and I think got like 5th or didn't win another one or something. And I'm like, it's obvious what is happening here. In the first video that we checked out where she obliterated the competition, she won by 40 seconds. 40. You don't go from winning by 40 seconds to barely winning. That just doesn't happen. It's obvious. You're sandbagging. You should have done that from the start. You did that on purpose. Just like Caitlyn Jenner said, because the world is watching and everybody has something to say. You knew everybody was watching, so you didn't want to win. You wanted to make it in the race that you did win, you wanted to make it a close one. I'm not buying it. Not buying it.
Now, I've said from the beginning, I have no problem with Leah Thomas. Leah Thomas has followed the rules. And she's able to swim because of that. My problem that I have here,
no, it ain't the wrong to stop it,
is with the NCAA really going all the way up to the Olympic Committee, other organizations that have allowed this to happen. She's playing within the rules. What I've said from the beginning is the rules aren't tough enough. Just being on testosterone depressants for a year or two, whatever the rules are right now, because they keep changing, obviously is not enough. Leah Thomas just dominated in the pool, and I'm sure she took it quite easily because she didn't want to win by too much. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. And honestly, I mean, I keep dealing with this stuff all the time. Yeah. I get so criticized. We were talking earlier, just the other day, you know, sometimes you got to stand up. You got to keep your sense of humor. And there was this Pink News in the UK, an LGBT publication, and there was this Emily Chuddy who wrote this article really putting me down from my stance on a lot of these things and say I was anti-trans and on and on and on. So, you know,
because she disagrees with your crazy little stance, she's like anti. She is trans. You just can't make this stuff up. Some of these people are delusional out here. Nothing wrong with being trans. But to call Caitlyn Jenner anti... I guess that old saying is true. The truth hurts.
He put out a tweet that said, well, at least I had the balls to stand up for women and girls in sports. Well, that goes viral. And it's been kind of all over. But I am getting so tired of this woke world. I've done so much for the trans community, bringing this issue forward, put millions of dollars through my foundation into groups, and worked so hard to do it. I don't think anybody deserves that, but
talk to them.
You know, that's the bigger story is the woke.
What money have they put behind it? Put your money where your mouth is, other than having them Twitter fingers. Put your money where your mouth is.
The woke world is out there, and we're fighting it, and people have to stand up.
So are they coming after you because you don't have the opinion on this that feeds their narrative that they expect you to have on this issue?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, this issue's been up a lot. To be honest with you, right now, I'm kind of getting tired of talking about it. I mean, I was just watching your piece beforehand. I mean, people are dying over in Ukraine. We have a war going on. We have all these issues going on. The trans athlete is such a small part of athletics. There's just very few of them that they're getting all this attention. Honestly, I would love to talk to Leah Thomas. I would love to sit down for an hour and discuss this issue with her. I don't think she's done anything wrong. She's played within the rules, but I want to know what her motivation is, if she feels good about this.
Well, let's hear
what's
from
going
her.
On in her head.
This is Leah Thomas
so,
after she won the championship. If we could just play it out so we can hear how people.
I didn't have a whole lot of expectations for this meet. I was just happy to be here, trying to race and compete as best as I could.
You've undoubtedly been under the spotlight over the past few months. How have you been dealing with that and reasoning with everything?
I try to ignore it as much as I can. I try to focus on my swimming, what I need to do to get ready for my races, and just try to block out everything else.
So that was Leah Thomas responding after winning the championship.
Okay, I get that. She's trying to block it all out, but it's almost impossible to block that stuff out that she's doing. I respect her 100%, and you know, we live in a free country. To be able to live your life authentically has been the greatest gift in my life, and I hope it is the best for her. But also with that comes some integrity about what you're doing. She can't block it all out because obviously I think she could have swam that race a lot faster, and she didn't because she didn't want to get too much attention. If she, you know, so yeah, we'll see how it all works out. I would just love to have the opportunity to talk to her and find out what's in her head.
That would be an interesting conversation to have. You know, the NCAA said that it was going to adopt new rules on testosterone levels, which it decided to shelve, saying that to do that in midseason, make a change would be unfair to trans athletes who are already competing. But here's what Martina Navratilova said. Biologically, Leah holds an unfair advantage over the competition in the women's category, as evidenced by her rankings that have bounced from number 462 as a male to number 1 as a female. Maybe put an asterisk there. Do you believe that this season will forever have an asterisk attached to it?
I don't think it's, I mean, it's something I think that needs to be looked into. You know, this whole trans athlete thing is just, you know, I know Christine.
Like I said before, I'm not saying trans athletes can't compete, but you compete with the fellas. Simple and plain. End of discussion. That solves it all.
Nome in South Dakota banned trans athletes in South Dakota. I don't think she had any, so it wasn't like a big ban. I might have had one, but when you ban it like that and you go across the board, what about this subject is so much bigger than that. When you're banning trans athletes, you're banning about female to male trans athletes. It's about what I've heard, don't hold me on these numbers, but about 49% of trans people are female to male. 51% are male to female. We only hear about the male to female. We never hear about the other side. So banning all trans athletes, that's not fair. We have to look into it. This really needs to be done on an individual basis, and it needs to be done properly. And I mean, sports is good. Everybody deserves to be able to compete in sports.
That's exactly my stance on it. Sports are great. Everybody should be able to compete. If you're trans, compete with the fellas. Simple and plain. I'm not saying that you can't compete. I'm not saying that you shouldn't compete. I'm just saying compete with the men. That's how I see it. But maybe I'm wrong. What do I know? Let me know in the comment section below. Like, share, comment. Hit the subscribe button before you go. I'm out.